The tide rises, the tide falls, and this time is not unlike all the times that come before. Challenge and change. And so today on Morning Coffee with Mario, we're going to be talking about a bunch of the things that's happening. So you better get your coffee, better get your Cheerios, better get all the things that you're going to need, because for about the next hour, it's going to be live. So if I could just see what's...
On the good news train, have your morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Get the 311 before the morning's done. Laugh until you cry. You can always rely on morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Morning coffee with Mario.
Yes, give it up. Give it up. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Morning Coffee with Mario. We've been off for a little bit. We had a hiatus, and what can I say? It's been crazy. First of all, I had a birthday, so thank you to all of you. Yeah, all of you who sent the birthday wishes. So I just want to say thank you for all of that. And I feel blessed to be here because every time I am here, I can never do it alone. I'm always here with the person who drives the ship that I created. Give it up for Victor Allen, everybody.
Welcome back, man. Welcome back, man. It's been a unique July.
Hell yeah, it's been a unique July. Well, first of all, Vic, just the whole thing of turning 66. Ladies and gentlemen, I am 66 now. And so I'm reflecting. I know. Don't apologize for my penis. It's understood. but it's, 66. And you get to have these. So I had a little bit of birthday blues, just a little bit. But it also gives me a time to reflect on all the good things. And I have to admit, in that reflection, and I think I'm trying to go to my Facebook right now, that reflection, I had a lot of good memories. I don't know what y'all think about when you get to 66, but for me and for a lot of men, I think for a lot of people, Vic, we think about who we've loved, right? We think about
You thought about who you loved? Wait a minute. Let me check this. Let me check this right now. First of all, let me say, hey, what's up, fam? What's up, everybody? Listen, I know we were gone. We had to sequester for good reasons, health, prosperity, and everything else. Let me start this all over. Did you just say love? Now, you must be...
I'm saying 66. Yes, I said love, ladies and gentlemen, because my journey has changed. At 66, I officially recognize it. Vic and I and Omari, we've all been sort of skirting around certain things, but I've been doing the online dating thing.
Wait. Is that new or is that just continuing?
It's just continuing, but I think the perspective that one takes at 66.
Right.
Because first of all, by 66, you should know what you want. The issue is that what you want actually changes continuously, as you get older. So what you arrive at 66 wanting is kind of different.
Right.
It's different stuff. I don't know. And if you want the same thing, then you're an idiot. But you should be changing. You should be growing. And so I have to acknowledge at 66, the month of July, so I've been posting things, and let me get some things clear. I posted some really bad, some pictures. I made some spaghetti. Okay, I made this badass spaghetti. I call it badass spaghetti. And I don't have it all the time. I call it badass spaghetti because it has a lot of meat. It's like overdone. It has like bacon, sausage, well, 2 kinds of sausage, ground beef. Here it is. See, let me see. See, the badass spaghetti, see? And, I don't know. I listen, you guys, I post stuff that I'm eating that's good and healthy, too. I just sometimes post the stuff. And Victor Allen, look, okay, I weighed 178 pounds this morning. Now, I used to weigh over 260, so first of all.
Yeah, congratulations.
I weighed 178.
Right.
Even though disease has a lot to do with that. Diseases have a wonderful way of making you lose weight, but that's okay.
Right, man.
But take a look at Vic.
Well, I mean, they know. They know. But see, it's about, this. It's the eating style, man. You know me.
Did you eat the spaghetti?
Yes, I did. I tell people all the time, I do what they call deposit and withdraw. If you deposit into food that you know that basically is waiting to have a party in your system, then I always say it's what you do the next day to flush, fitness, or pray. So I cheat a lot. It just doesn't seem like it, but I do.
Well, the other thing is that I posted some of my good meals. They didn't get as much of a hit. I did the salmon, right?
Right.
I did the salmon saute.
Right.
And so all of that. So anyway, whatever. I just want to make that little disclaimer that even though I do post some bad food, I do try to post good food. My point is that I'm not a purist. But when was the last time I made spaghetti, Vic?
Well, it's been a while because you have a cornucopia of food items like you like to mix together and try different things. So it's been earlier this year. It's been a while though, man.
All right. Well, so that's the new shit. Okay, yeah. I had a birthday. Then I just got COVID. Believe it or not, I'm triple vaxxed. But I told you guys, I've been reporting on the science. The vaccines start to wane, unfortunately, sometime after 4 months. I don't know the rate of decline, but I know that they're reporting it starts to decline. With the natural infection like I just had, it lasts about 7 months. So conceivably, I could get sick again this year.
Didn't we discuss that you almost have to get vaxxed almost every 4 months?
Well, no one wants to do that, and that's part of the whole issue. It wasn't that, right. The question is the value of something like that and the requirements, and who knows? And I'm not so sure myself.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know. But anyway, I want to thank you all for the birthday wishes. Thank you all for the COVID wishes, and I'm glad to be back. Shoot. Okay, so we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. I got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. It's too much stuff. It's been in the news. We got to talk about the January 6 hearings. We got to talk about global warming. And then I have in the news a bunch of pediatric news that I think is important. Like the fact that the World Health Organization is recommending 20 minutes of activity. For teenagers.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, right?
I'm just bringing it up. This is how we've gotten. This is how bad that we're trying to mandate 20 minutes of exercise.
I'll meet you halfway, 10.
We're going to talk about all of this in the pediatric news because I'm going to talk about pediatric news today, and I'm going to talk about the difference in how you're treated in the emergency room because recent studies come out showing that white children get access to emergency room imaging way more often than children of color. Imagine that. So we'll talk about that. And also I got some information on COVID effects on pregnant women. Wow. So that's beside the global warming in the January 6th hearing, because we got to talk about that. So
Right.
it's going to be a crazy day. I'm just telling you, that's why I wore a special tie. Now, Vic,
Yeah.
the ethos. What's the ethos today?
Well, it's kind of obvious because, if I have activity, I'm going to post it in advance anyway. So basically, what did I do during our timeout? It was sort of a timeout because of the COVID, so I had to sequester as well to make sure not get out there. I'm going to cover, what they call the deck. I'm about to introduce this time of the day that I just love to sit back and just, talk to you. And I'm just going to call it the deck. And then we're going to talk about the power. There are unbelievable reasons, 3 main reasons why black women shape what's sexy in society. All right. And then, of course, we're going to talk about love ultimatum versus spoil me ultimatum.
Oh, Lord.
But it's not how we're going to discuss it. I will use an example of the discussion, and we'll take it from there. So I believe some of this is going to bleed over to a part 2, and I'm going to make sure. I'm not going to try to squeeze it in because I want to be able to have an ongoing. And I think when you're talking about women in general, we should highlight the best qualities of the women. Just like you would want women to highlight the best qualities of men, right, Mario?
Well, that's because we, we
got-
have wonderful experiences along with our crazy experiences.
Right.
We also, you and I, are amongst those men who are not at war with women at all. We're not.
Really?
We're not, yeah. Well, are you? I'm not. Okay. Maybe
No,
I was
I'm
for
just
me.
playing.
I'm not at war.
I'm just playing.
Vic may still have some battles out there.
Wait. First of all,
We both have women friends. That's the one thing about Vic's got so many women friends.
oh yeah, I'm a friendly guy.
Oh, go. Okay.
I'm a friendly guy.
Okay.
I'm really kind of nice.
Whatever. Oh, Lord.
Look, first of all, wars are not always clash. They can be friendly wars. See? That's right. Right. Let's go to the next subject.
All right, we're going to come back with January 6th hearing, global warming, pediatric news. I'm Mario Hemsley. Welcome to Morning Coffee. Yes. This is how you sound the body heats. Morning coffee, mood control. We feel you need it. Lord knows we need it. Enjoy. Take a sip of that coffee. Take a sweet sip of that tea. What's happening, PMC? Don Juan. We see all of y'all out there. Good morning, Facebook. Sight and sound. Yes. That's right, exhale. Exhale. Now, I've been making no secret of the fact that I'm investigating traveling and living abroad for lengths of time. You know, part of it is you need enough time to really experiment and enjoy the culture. And after much consultation, watching videos on the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, I was going to do South America and parts of the continent, different countries in the continent of Africa later because I was going to do that with some associates. So this time was pretty much focused on Asia. And after talking to enough people, I've pretty much got it down to Thailand, which, believe it or not, Thailand, the apartment that I'm looking at is running around $400 to $450 a month. It's amazing what you get for that. And if I wanted to really have like a crazy pad, I could spend like $1,000 or more a month. But, you know, the $400 one is in a high-rise with all the amenities furnished. And then, so the issue is traveling there. Now, check it out. To go there business class, round trip, is about $4,000. Okay? To go there one way, economy is $600. So I went and looked at the same airlines, Asiana. I looked at their business class, okay, which I told you when you do business class, you get a better deal for some reason by booking round trip. That's why I told you like that. If you book a round trip, it was like $3,900. Now, if you book it as a one-way economy, that's $600. That's to Thailand. Now, I went and watched the video. This is what's so good about today's world. You could literally go on YouTube and put in the airline and put in economy, business. And do you know people have videos of the whole trip with review? So I watched reviews of people who flew economy and people who flew business class. And I've flown business class. That's what I did to the Maldives. Now, check it out. Makes a difference on these long flights. When you go to Thailand, the first leg for most of them is from LAX to Seoul. That is a 13-hour flight.
That's good, man. That's good. They're not taking you all the way around the world. You want? Oh, wait a minute. You want layover?
No, I'm just saying. And the one I was looking at had a 2-hour layover in Seoul. And then a 6-hour flight to Bangkok.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, so when you talk about flying now, but I watched the guy who took the flight. I watched a few people who took the economy. You could go look economy airline, economy flight on Philippine Air, because I was told by Celeste that was a good one. Okay. So I went and looked at the economy and the business class, the people's reviews. And you get to look at the seed, everything. So you know exactly what you're getting different. I suggest people try this. That's what I did, Vic.
Okay.
And I'm just telling you, looking at traveling to Bangkok, where you could live literally on $1.50, well, $5 a day. Okay?
Yeah.
For all your meals and everything.
Everything, yeah.
And even entertain. So it's some crazy stuff. That's where I'm looking at going to live there for a month or two. Because I also want to spend some time in Chiang Mai, which is the food capital of Thailand. So all of this is amazing. You can actually book. I've been looking at the video, so I know what the agencies to use. So you basically can book the apartment, fly in, and just go to the desk and get your key card. And go up to your furnished apartment, Vic. So that's what I'm looking at. Spending some time in Thailand. Now, Omari already said he's coming. I was talking to Herb and my buddy. He said, well, I want my own room. So like we said, we don't know if we want no roommates.
Oh, wow.
You might have to have your own. Well, you know what I'm saying?
I know, I get it.
I'm saying if I'm in Thailand, the fellas can visit me off and on and sleep on the couch.
If they go that far, they're going to get their own spot, right?
Well, I'm just saying, for $400 a month, you should get it.
Yeah.
I mean, here's what's so funny, Vic, because I actually saw this. They have an apartment that's $160 a month.
Okay.
And you ought to see it. It's just like being for a college kid, it's like a one room with a little bedroom area,
right,
kitchen area, but it has all the amenities, internet, television.
Right.
All of that, washer, $160 a month. So if you really want to live economy in the equivalent of a bachelor, single or something, you could do that for $160 a month. And you could book it before you get there.
I think Herman's going to get his own spot, didn't he?
Herman said he ain't stayed.
Herman's going to do it himself because
Dr. Bell.
Because he already spent almost $400 on the date.
Yeah,
so I know he'll do that, right?
My friend Dr. Bell, he said we owe it to ourselves, and we do.
Right.
And so it's just just imagine this: round trip, business class to Bangkok for $4,000,
right.
And you're not gonna spend $4,000 in 2 months living there,
right? No,
so just remember that. So that's the part about going to experiment, Vic. When you talk about going to experiment somewhere where your money's going to really go far, literally, I was looking at the morning buffet that was $1.50.
Right.
And like our equivalent of a Starbucks coffee. He said you can still go to Starbucks here and look how much you'll pay.
Right.
But look if you go to the local version of Starbucks, well, it was 50 cents.
Right. Hey, listen, they make it very, very enticing, right?
Yeah, they make it, because especially now that weed is legal, they gave away 1 million marijuana plants in Thailand.
Right.
They gave away 1 million marijuana plants in Thailand. And so, what can I say?
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is good, man. I can't wait, because if you don't document, then I know you're really busy. I won't tell them what you're busy at, though.
We won't tell you. Well, hopefully I'll be busy at some good shit.
To notice.
I mean, I'm not going over to Thailand in search of a woman.
You won't have to worry about that. They're going to find you. Yeah, they're going to find you.
I'm putting the word out to people like Vic.
You know what?
Because there's the issue, too, of them coming, because I'm saying, hey, if you can look at the guy traveling, okay? You can look at him. Right. And see, if I was younger, I would be taking that $600 flight. You ought to see it. But, I'm older and
you think,
soft.
You think you can hide so you can be inconspicuous? Because when you land at the airport, the bells will be ringing.
We want some pack stereo attention.
Yeah, well, you're going to get some, bro.
All right. Hey, station ID. All right, switch reels. Trying my new format. The January 6th hearings, if you haven't been watching that, You need to be. It's history in the making. I remember my freshman year at Howard watching Watergate, and that had a momentous effect on me at that early stage in my life. What's happening with the January 6th hearings is going to be forever taught in schools around the world. It's really a must-see. And what's great about it is that they've kept it to under 2 hours usually, and you can watch it in the archive. I actually encourage everyone. I not only watch almost all of it live, I then go back and review it again. And the learning involved has been wonderful. I want to remind some people. Right now, the Department of Justice, everybody's holding their breath to see what Merrick Garland, your Attorney General, is going to do. I want to remind you that when recently asked about it, the President, Joe Biden, was very supportive. In other words, he's comfortable. Remember, he's comfortable with Merrick Garland. So this degree of activity, to me, is something they agreed on long before. So understand that. How many Attorney Generals did Trump have? You know you can fire them, right? How many did Trump fire? Okay. You probably even can't remember the first one. Mm-hmm. So this is what's happening. This lack of effort that we're seeing by Attorney General Merrick Garland is part of Biden's way of handling it, similar to what we're seeing right now with Biden's non-attack, unwillingness to actually demonize Trump for what he actually was. Part of the problem. By ignoring it, he's not helping. This is typical of the Joe Biden I know, and it's what I've always said about him. Unwilling to confront his friends. Let me give you the most glaring example. Right now, with Joe Manchin blocking everything, he still had really nice things to say about his buddy, Joe Manchin. We have a word for this, but I'm not going to use this on the broadcast today.
Yeah, don't do that, man.
I'm not going to use it.
Don't do it. Yeah.
So the January 6th hearings represent, once again, someone else doing the work that the Justice Department should be doing, which in other words is Joe Biden. Pressure from Joe Biden, who appoints the Attorney General. His effect on the Justice Department is clear. So what they're doing, this lack of activity, is an organized, planned response. Keep that in mind. So right now, you're going to have to rely on the January 6th committee to make things so obvious that they're forced to do something. Currently, the scandal is the Secret Service, SS, no pun intended. No pun intended. The Secret Service and their lost text messages, of which they've turned over exactly one. These are the people who are supposed to be the best in the world, not only in encryption, but in breaking encryption. Because when you're an expert at encryption, you're also an expert at breaking encryption.
I'm going to take issue and have a contrast to your opinion. Now, this is the first you got.
It's certainly not, but okay.
Let me just say this. First of all, you guys got to get a wake-up call. There's a reason why they call themselves Secret Service. What the hell do you think they call themselves the Secret Service for? It's a damn secret, okay? I don't get it. For me, I think it's a violation if they give up their secrets. Now, I take issue with people telling them to give up their secrets.
They were supposed to be the ones who kept it secret when the president got a blowjob.
I'm just saying. Why would you name yourself Secret Service if you got to give up the secrets?
Well, Trump supposedly had his own cadre within the Secret Service. One of the Secret Service agents actually left for a while to work with his campaign. That's unheard of. So there's a whole issue. And of course, with Biden, the man who's unwilling to confront anybody, there was no purge. You would think that when you came in, you would have found every Trump supporter and got rid of them. But there was no purge because Limpy, or whatever, Mr. Noodle,
you know what's
didn't
wrong.
do anything as expected. So what I would tell you is this, and my whole point, watch the January 6th hearings. If you can go back and watch it in archive form, it's very entertaining. You'll be amazed. Just take the effort, the time to sit down, make some popcorn, enjoy the January 6th hearings. All right. Switch reel. Global warming. Is global warming here, or is this shit crazy, or what? Okay, I don't know what to make of this. I'm reading everything, ladies and gentlemen, and if you're reading everything like I'm doing, it looks like the whole freaking world is on fire. Here in Los Angeles, we're in actually one of the better places in the whole world. Pockets of the United States are burning up too, and we're talking about temperatures like 114, 106. I mean, crazy stuff. Before this, the UK had a national temperature record of 101.7. You believe that? In other words, for as long as they have been recording temperatures, they had never had it over 101.7 in the UK. They went to 104. They have no air conditioning. A lot of places in the world have no air conditioning for the most part because it was never necessary. Now, experiencing this, and places here in the United States, even where they're used to heat, they're having ridiculous kinds of heat. Oklahoma, Texas. Wow. It's
Great.
incredible.
Yeah, when you follow the, when you follow the evolution of the Earth, they say that every 10,000 years we have an ice age. So in between there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Are we curving? Are we heading? We don't know what part we're in. We know it's every 10,000 years. Now, with that being said, why would the Earth stay at a constant? Is it natural phenomenon or something we're contributing? As far as our role in it, which everybody says we are contributing because of the industrialization and, of course, what we're doing with the oceans and stuff like that. So, are we expediting this particular change in climate? What percentage are we contributing? Somewhere along the way we are helping it out. But it's coming anyway, whether we help it out or not. It just won't happen in our lifetime, right?
Well, based on what's going on now, it looks like it is happening in your lifetime. In fact, that's the scary news, unfortunately, and the one thing that may get you some action is that you're actually seeing effects now.
Right.
No matter what, people are attributing this, which I don't know to what degree it actually is attributable directly to climate change, but it's hard not to assume that.
Right.
It's hard not to assume that. I don't know the exact science either. I'm trying to look. But I'm just saying, wow, things are changing, things are occurring. You got ice packs, glaciers melting.
Right.
And it's changing the wildlife and everything. It's affecting the oceans. It's affecting the landscape. It's affecting everything. And now we're seeing it affect population centers. In China, they were going crazy too.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, in London, they were painting the railroads white to reflect the sun. They're having, certain areas in China, for example, and in Britain, melting because they're just not used to this weather.
Well, once again, this may help the Democrats, maybe, except they're so wishy-washy they won't be able to take advantage of it properly. But what party is going to make a stand for climate change?
Yeah, no, man, you're not getting. There's too much money involved, right?
Well, what's going to happen now? It's going to move from being casual conversation to a deal breaker.
Right.
See, that's what's going to happen. See, Roe versus Wade went from casual conversation to a deal breaker. So it depends now. It may not be for some people, but for a bunch of people, those are items that are deal breakers.
True.
So we're going to see. Climate change is now being added to the list. Roe versus Wade. Heading into the elections, the midterms, gun control, these are the things. And again, I remind you, please watch those January 6 hearings. They are incredible.
Yes, sir.
Switch reel. Pediatric news. Pediatric news. I am a pediatrician, board certified pediatrician. Even though I don't know my life, I ain't been practicing since 2015. But anyway, on the cover, just 20 minutes of vigorous activity daily benefits teens. No shit. See, this is what my issue is with medical journals. This is my issue. No shit. The World Health Organization called for moderate to vigorous physical activity, which they've called MVPA. The World Health Organization calls for MVPA, moderate to vigorous physical activity.
You know what?
For an average of 60 minutes a day for physical and mental health. However, the low figure is not no. So they want you to get at least 20 minutes of vigorous activity to maintain your overweight children.
Per day, right? Not per week.
This is the leadership you're getting from the medical establishment.
No, wait. See, I know I'm going to laugh with you, but I'm not going to laugh with you. So, are the parents inherently dependent on the medical establishment?
No.
Okay, so are we pointing that they're talking to the parents?
They're talking. I don't know who they're talking. This is a pediatric journal, so this is not being read by the public at large. It's being read by pediatricians. Okay, which is, I want you to understand why I found so many of these kinds of things and activities irritating throughout my medical career.
That's right.
I found them actually irritating.
Because the audience and really the medical, let's say, professionals, they don't want to roll in prescribing this stuff. Why? Why do they not want more activity?
Because they're inherently conservative and white.
Okay, that's
it.
That's straightforward.
Inherently,
that's
before there was all white men, even in pediatrics.
Correct.
So they inherently never did give a shit about you.
Right.
Okay? So now it's time to give a shit.
So basically, this is what conservatism will do.
In medicine.
It blows up everybody, and that's being conservative.
If you want to go to unequaltreatment.com and see the website that I have maintained that shows you the actual data on the study that was done here by the National Institute of Health that documented bias and treatment all throughout America. Let me tell you what they have right here. White children more likely to get imaging in emerging departments. No shit once again. White children, white people are more likely to get everything in emergency department. Just don't come in with a bunch of tattoos. Okay? Because studies show that what you look like affects your resuscitation.
You may have a point there, man. Because I even heard, our Metro Rail down here on Crenshaw Boulevard in King, I heard that it's actually being pulled by a few horses.
Hey. Good news, alcohol and marijuana use is down during the pandemics. You know why they say they think it's down?
Too expensive.
No, because the kids are home with their parents. And so either they can't do it around their parents or their parents are stealing their weed.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Alcohol and marijuana use reportedly down during the pandemic.
Is that good news?
I leave it. I just bring you.
Yeah, that's good news, man.
They're bringing out some information on monkeypox. I went and looked that up. I'll be able to report to you on that. Basically, monkeypox is endemic in certain countries. It means it's always there.
Right.
Okay, so I'll get you some more information about monkeypox related to smallpox in some ways and treated mostly by vaccine. Right. Here's one for those of us who out there still not dealing with COVID. There are some studies that say COVID exposure to developing infants could be dangerous. In other words, having a COVID infection during pregnancy has been linked to a small but significant effect on infant neurodevelopment.
Okay.
So in other words, just don't get COVID while you're pregnant. Does that seem like a logical? Do we really need? Of course, we need studies to tell you.
Yes, you do.
Even though I would say, what would you guess?
Yeah.
If you're pregnant, should you go get COVID? Okay, one of the other things, let me see, I call you blah, 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 blah. Okay, one of the things that's actually happening too is President Biden signed into law. I'm trying to find it, dang it. But anyway, this whole issue of treatment of intersex. Now, what is intersex? Let's talk about it not in terms of the soft cases, but the real cases that I've actually been involved with as a pediatrician. That's when you get a newborn baby and you get ready to tell them whether it's a boy or a girl, and you can't tell. Because what you're looking at looks to be a clitoris the size of a small penis with two labia on the side, which sometimes you can feel a testes in the labia, a rudimentary orifice. So we don't know what sex it is. Okay? We're looking at the genitalia. And I've been involved in this a few times. And everybody's like, what? We have to talk. And we can't do it right there in the delivery room. We got to do it afterwards with some real, I undress the baby and look at everything in detail with the parents. Everything. I undress the baby there. That's my night. Okay, that's my night. And I undress the baby and go over everything and talk to them, get things for them to read, discuss all of this. Because what the baby looks like doesn't determine what the baby's going to grow into. Now, the reason why I bring this up is that when I was a medical student, not even an intern, not a resident, when I was a medical student, I was involved in a discussion in pediatrics with people who later went on to be my attending staff. I got to know these people very well over the years. But I was part of a discussion where we were talking about children that were born intersex and that they made them all into girls because they could. And as a student, I remember saying, after a while, raising my hand, I'm saying, so they think that you could take somebody, convert them to a girl, tell them that they're a girl, and raise them as a girl, and that they're going to come out being a girl. And I remember my attending staff, these are people who I later went on to have longer relationships. These are some very, very good physicians. But they said, well, Mario, this is what they're doing. And there are reports it's working. And I said, that doesn't make any sense to me. I just doesn't. And guess what? It totally messed up. You got men looking like sailors who look down at what looks like a vagina. Okay, imagine how they're like, why didn't you at least wait and leave me alone till I was older? So all over the world right now, people who are born intersex, they're passing laws to actually forbid, because in some places they still convert them into girls. You got a 50-50 chance it's right. You got a 50-50 chance. But this is what's happening right now. And so this is actually related in some very different ways to what's happening to what is now being revealed is the fraud of conversion therapy, which is the therapy where they try to assign gender. Like they try to save your son from being gay or for your daughter from being lesbian, convert her. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. All you end up doing is messing somebody up horribly. That does not. What a bunch of crap. And all because of someone's inherent bias against what we're learning about sexuality. And we're learning new things. And I as a pediatrician, too, have to be willing to learn new things as it relates to these things. First of all, I recognize that those of us who are lesbian, bisexual, queer, transgender, you should have the right to self-define your own description and terms. As a black person, I remember that. Everybody else kept naming us, and we wanted to determine our own name for ourselves. Mm-hmm. Okay, like my mom, I didn't get to be black till I was 13. So let's talk about I was colored and Negro. Then I remind people, Negro is what white people called you when they were being nice to you. So, the tide rises, the tide falls, and the news goes on. That's pediatric news. We'll be back with the ethos. Coming up with Allen's Ethos. Right, sound about heat. Pack Stereo TV. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. And now, Victor Allen's Ethos.
Did you hit all your subjects?
Man, I got all my subjects.
Very good. I'm glad.
And we did it in 50 minutes.
Yeah, very good, man. You did a good job. Good job. Mine's going to take 1/10 of that time because I'm not trying to stretch it out. Because, see, mine, so you guys understand what the ethos is. It's really about me. So say if there's a week where I don't do anything, I will come up here and report that I didn't do a damn thing. But as you have already been aware, Mario, let me just say this. You didn't give us, we'll wait till next week. And I'm going to run this on.
I didn't give you marijuana.
No, you didn't give us the specifics on COVID and what you went through. But anyway, we're going to go on back. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We say that, but roll it over to next week. So part of this is to say, what did I do during our timeout? And my timeout was 3 things, and I'm not lying. 1, World Track and Field Championships, because I just love the performances. And it was the first time it was held here in the United States. And so the women were just crazy, just absolutely just knocking it out. And the men even overachieved. We broke records. So for me, I'm a track and field guy, love it. I watched it. Tour de France, you know that. I'm not trying to be like them. I just love to appreciate that these guys on these bikes can actually literally go up hills, whether it's 5 miles, 10 miles, and continue to go and move it. But I also learned that they have a certain body type. And that body type puts them around an average weight between 132 and 145 pounds. So if you're anyone over that weight, there's a certain thing that happens to you called you gonna slow down or stop. So what did I learn? I learned something about I have something in common. But before I go there, I want to let you guys know there was a third activity. I call it chilling on the deck. When you chill on the deck, you chill on the deck. And so I chilled on the deck. And as you can see here, you know, the deck is kind of giving me what they call, everybody has a cave. I have a space. And this space is going to be this space that whenever I'm like in my moments, I'm going to sit back and enjoy my moments. And it's a special time when those moments pop up. So before I even get even further into that, I thought I'd lead you guys in with a combination story with a video. In the video, it says, I have one thing in common with the Tour de France cyclists, but built into that, you will understand what we have in common if you pay attention. You can play the video, Mario. Let them check it out. Volume's turned off. See, that's okay.
Except gravity.
You want to do a retry, man? You want to
Welcome
start
to
all
the
over?
deck.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Gravity. What do I have in common with the Tour de France? Absolutely nothing. Except gravity. Welcome to the deck. It's about 2:30 in the morning. I get out here on the deck, and then I just let you know what's going on. And the latest is that I just watched the international cyclist competition, the best riders in the world. I have been convinced that it's not about the distance. They literally go uphill, miles and miles. Gravity, my appreciation. Welcome to the deck.
That is what they call a soft little promo for when Victor is at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be outside and I'm going to be talking nonsense half the time. Mario knows where this comes from. So,
Must be something deep.
right. So, what was I saying? There's one thing I know that I have in common is that gravity affects us all the same way, right? But I noticed that if somebody's 100 pounds heavier, I don't know if they get the same proportion to weight distribution and gravity, but they say you can drop a penny from the Empire State Building and it falls just as fast as any other object of the same weight. I don't know. We're just going to leave that alone. So just so you know, periodically you'll see me do what they call the deck. And the deck is probably after midnight most of the time. When you guys are not paying attention, I would go live, but most of you guys go.
I like that, the deck. Rick Allen's the deck.
Right. So hey, look, when I'm not on the bike sometimes, and when I am, hey, there's some other subjects. We'll get to that later. The subject that I know I'm going to have to hold over to another time, but I'm going to cover it, is called power. And Mario knows when I say power, it's going to deal with a certain gender, women. But I came across a story that I found very interesting. And it was by a woman, and she was Caucasian, and she happened to be raised around African Americans. And so she put out this piece, and she said 3 reasons black women shaped what's sexy in society. So I'm going to give you a teaser right now, because I'm going to do a part 2, because I know how long this is going to go. And if you want to know who her name is, Name is Megan Madness. Megan Madness. And I stumbled upon this. And so she said these are the 3 reasons, and I know because I was there and I watched it as I grew up around this community. And she said, number one, dancing to music, and these are her words. Appreciate what other cultures bring to your soul. That message hit me hard for the first time. I popped my tiny white behind to the Bourbons and Lacs by Mr. P. The first time a man touched me in all the right ways with Shay playing in the background. That's her first coming out, I guess you could say. The second one, that body though. Notice she said that body though. Now, I can't lie. This is her words now. I love the body God gave me. And while I have a nice little apple bottom, crab apple, I still wish I looked as voluptuous as a black woman. Bro, my lips are so small it looks like I snack on them. This is what she's talking about herself. Okay? Now, I'm going to go over these real quick and come back next week to them. So when she wants to support this, she says, let's look at what is hot before black culture was adored. Small, flat butts, small body shapes, and skinny minis. And now after black culture broke through, it seems what's hot now. Big butts, thickness, and prominent features. Okay, here's another quote from her. I am sorry, while some white ethnicities have prominent features, most of us, especially in America, and throughout history until recently, have small lips, butts, bodies, etc. So yes, the reason why all that saucy sexiness is treasured is because of a black woman. And the third one, confidence. And we'll come back to this for discussion. I just want to set the tone for you guys. Sex appeal today is black culture. I don't care how you put it, what you believe. This is the truth, the music, the moves, the body. The black culture hits different. It feels different. No amount of makeup, wigs, clothing, dancing, language, etc. can make you a black woman. I'm doing this because I want to recognize how somebody can have an opinion, and that's their experience. So, Mario, I know you have been an advocate for these 3 reasons, and do you agree with Megan Madness, or do you find disagreement with any of those?
No, I think when you look, well, this is what's wonderful about the world. When you look at every group, usually you can find some aspect of beauty because that's what the Creator does. It's just that for so long, the beauty inherently in our blackness was denied. So now we have a point where the pendulum swings, where society is openly acknowledging what we've been acknowledging for decades, right? Too bad it's not longer than that, but we had to do our own revolution of sorts, right?
Right.
And then now we're in the part of that where we are affecting others by our own views, and there it is. So, yeah, it's a wonderful time. It's wonderful to be acknowledged, even though still first is your own acknowledgement of self,
right,
and the definition therein. So.
Right, absolutely. And if you guys want more on this, I've already provided a link, and I'll be sending this out by tweet. And there's already postings at Facebook. The link will be on my Ethos by Victor Allen link, and you'll click Megan's article, and there's way more information than this. I just pulled this section out. So it gives you at least a perspective. Now, I'm not endorsing her to sit back and say she's studied. I'm just saying here's a person, this is my experience because I lived around the community. Now, because I'm going to come back to this, there's some subjects underneath these topics that I'll bring in part 2. I wanted to give what they call the love ultimatum subject. Spoil me versus love me. Mario, what do you think is easier for you to do? Spoil a woman or love a woman?
Is this a trap?
It's
a trap.
What's easier? Spoil a trap. Woman? It's not a trap, man. It's a trap. See, if you had the option, spoil or love, what would you find easier?
Well, I think loving someone is certainly more valuable than spoiling them, but there are others who don't feel the same. Hopefully, I'm not in love with one of them.
See, there you go. See, listen. Do men inherently, when they put on their game face, do we try to spoil or do we try to impress? Which one do you think you were falling under? Don't look at just
Well,
today.
spoil means ongoing activity. Impress might be momentary. I would say we try to impress. We just want to get laid. So they're trying to do whatever leads the most quickly to that outcome.
Right. But you are a changed man now. You have evolved.
I'm old, yes.
No, seasoned. There's a word
Yes.
called seasoned.
And
Right?
the Mr. Mushroom, I don't know.
You're seasoned. Seasoned. And as a
My old
seasoned...
friend, he's long gone.
See, let me just say this. Let me say, I'm trying to keep this in a perspective where...
Me too.
Okay, with that being said, I'm keeping this light today. The reason why, you guys, because of the break, and I know we can get into depth and really get into all the... Here, let me give you all this about the support of this opinion about the black culture. But I want you guys to know I will be bringing other unique perspectives of other communities. It just won't be African American. And generally, I like to run across things that are the abstract. So hopefully, they'll let you know that everybody's not on that same political headline. You're left or you're right. Okay. Now, I want to show a video that I think we've already seen. It's called Love Ultimatum versus Spoil Me Ultimatum. This was already shown, but we didn't do the show on it. And so I just want to go ahead and just relive this so we can reinforce that sometimes women go, spoil me first. I'll see if I love you later. So in the meantime, let's play this video.
Hey, Bonifacio, momentito. Come on.
We're getting approval from the Urban Internet Portal.
What they do to you in the ghetto.
Yeah, just letting you guys know that. Many of you guys have already seen the video, but I thought it was necessary to play.
If you don't spoil me, if you don't spoil me,
Or like a woman that sits back and has an activity-based ethos.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
treat me like a woman should be treated.
Yeah,
I'm leaving.
yeah, let's talk about it.
Sometimes I think the sun is shining just for me.
If you don't spoil me and treat me like a woman should be treated, I'm leaving.
Let's hear that. That's the jungle speaking.
The reason why I brought that back up is because it was the question that I asked Mario. Notice in this example, the woman said, spoil me. She didn't say love me. So that may be the right approach, Mario. I mean, have you ever fallen in love first and said, I'll spoil you later?
Yeah, preferably. That would be the way.
Wait a
This is
minute.
a bad subject, Vic.
Dude,
Some of us, it brings back painful scars.
listen, man. Listen, I'm keeping it real. I didn't even think about it. You know, this is the first time I know somebody's going to say, Victor, you bullshit. I said, yeah, I didn't compare the difference between love first, spoil later. Spoil, love later, or try to do both. I never really thought of it that way. Okay, you guys, you could talk about me. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes we come to these evolutions. But would you say, Mario, your successes have been that you spoiled them first, or you really liked them first?
Probably because I spoiled them first, unfortunately.
Oh, so you're saying not too successful?
I'm saying it was successful. I tend to be generous. I tend to take them to do things I
Yeah,
want to do, and that tends to be fun. And so
this is not
they tend to
right.
like all that stuff. It's
This-
kind of hard
true.
to ask them not to like it. So, you know,
True.
it's not, doesn't mean people are superficial. I remember one of my friends that's female said to me, Mara, you can't be Prince Charming and then hold it against them if they like it.
Right. Absolutely.
You can't. That's not reasonable.
Absolutely. We learn as we go. The only reason why I said it was because you make a good point. Spoiling. If somebody says spoil me,
if they ask for it, that's a bad sign.
You see, I know.
If they ask for it,
and some may even deserve it, really, but they shouldn't.
Well, it still may be worth it. I'm not saying that's not a deal breaker.
But it can throw up a flat?
Well, they could say, spoil me, and then they want a bunch of candles.
Got you.
You might just go for that.
Yeah, but if they want a whole bunch of cash.
They may, but if they want a bunch of $600 shoes, you may feel a little differently.
I'm transferring this subject. I already know where he's going. Let me just say this. This is not a paid sponsorship. He is a generous brother that I do know. People can sign off on that.
That's
easy.
Served me poorly.
But wait a minute. No, wait.
So
there's a difference. They always say, you wasn't forced, you have to make better selections, right?
Well, that's right. We are responsible for our choices.
Thank you. At the end of the day, like they said, you may be right about what the person is doing, but you were the one who chose them.
Correct.
That's my ethos. I'm out of here, man. You guys have a good one.
We're not going to look back on the 4th of July?
Nah, man. That's too far back, man. Hey, you guys, I'll share that out. That's me chilling on the beach and the waves. We actually featured that on the show, so, it's a long time ago.
Victor Allen's Ethos. Wow, what a day, what a day, what a day. It's been a miraculous, wonderful day here at Pax Stereo TV. What can we say? I've been enjoying it throughout. We got through a bunch of stuff that was it was good.
Well, considering, because most people, and you have to think about it, see, you kind of left them off the hook. Because had you shared the things you were going through while we took the COVID break, that's the part that it just seemed like you recovered very well, man. It seemed like it just had you a day or so.
Survival is indeed wonderful. I think it's the perspective.
Right, it is.
You're like, hey, I'm over COVID.
Yeah, I mean, you got people who've had a long time, but we're going. That's next week, man. Leave it alone for us.
That's next week. We'll see you guys.
Yeah.
You know what we say? Ain't nobody got my DNA. Let me grab my guitar. See what I'm gonna say. It's been a blast. Mario Hensley, Morning Coffee. Hope you had a great time. We had a great time. See you next week.
First off, I'm not your regular dude. I bust moves like a young MC. Yeah, sorta, that would be me. Got me thinking about putting down the mic one day. Then I get some more love. Thanks for the love you gotta play. Hey, what can I say? I'm a Leo to the finish, man. I love God, so my faith won't diminish, man. Once I step up to the mic, I speak truth. Hip-hop wasn't designed to expose the black youth, but somewhere along the lines, we dropped the ball, yeah. I mean, that man in the mirror, yeah, that ball dude. But now I'm back to right the wrongs of my past world.
Come on!
So this on my list like my name's Earl. Articulate my thoughts clearly like Professor Les. Do you remember Rap City with Deja and Les? I'm looking at the front door, bless the main source. You're full yet, wait till I hit you with the main course. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money's grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. Shit alone. You like my raps, but really I write songs. I like to do it like this once in a while to show some versatility and make you all smile. It's been a long time coming, I know, I feel it too. The more I take a break, it's like the more I break through. With my time, the space boy funk, I'm on point. And bless this microphone every time I anoint the pen and pad. I face the bad head on. Escape inside the music, see my diary's a song and song. Till I write my next verse, then I go again into the studio. I feel I gotta flow again. This ain't just music to me, it's like my recipe. To be honest, it's more creative tranquility. This ain't just music to me, it's like my recipe. To be honest, it's more creative tranquility. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid, you doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. They say they get me, I don't think they ever got me. My name's Kowalski, but they call me Kawasaki. Online I'm funds, but in real life I'm more like Chachi or Cola. I told you, I'm funky like granola. Bars, can't you see that I'm a star? Who pumps his own gas in the cold really fast? I pass on your gold digging stash. I'd rather make my own money, not advance me loan money. No, I was spitting when you was a kid. You doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. I was spitting when you was a kid. You doing what I did, you know I still got it. Why you brag about it? I be on the solo, making my money grow residual. I'm individual, nobody's got my DNA. So there you go. Nobody's got my DNA. Nobody's got my DNA.
Nobody's got my DNA. Alexa.